How many times have you failed, both in your personal life and professional career? 2, 3, or countless times? The fact is, you can't escape failure in your lifetime if you want growth. Walt Disney was once fired from a newspaper job for supposedly lacking creativity. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, and Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job after facing harassment and hostility. Most successful people have all faced failure, sometimes repeatedly, because failure forces them to confront their weaknesses, reevaluate their goals, and grow stronger. So, how are you learning from failure? What can it teach you about resilience, patience, or new ways to approach a problem? To understand all these questions, let's dive into the factors that contribute to feelings of failure. 1. Social and family expectations. Social pressure is very common nowadays, especially among the Gen Zs. A study of first-year biology students found that their biggest fear of failing came from the weight of societal and family expectations. It's natural to want to make your family proud and to feel like you fit in with the people around you. And when you imagine falling short, it's easy to worry about letting everyone down. These pressures are powerful whether it comes to the fear of disappointing parents, not living up to what friends expect, or standing out in a way that feels uncomfortable. They shape the choices you make, sometimes even making you hesitate to try new things or take risks. But remember, these expectations, though often well-meaning, don't define you. Instead, they're one piece of the larger picture as you carve your path and define success on your terms. 2. You didn't acknowledge failure had a price. Every failure can cost you something valuable, whether it's time, confidence, energy, money, or even your mental well-being. Sometimes it's your ego or reputation that takes a hit, or the time you could have spent elsewhere. Whatever you put on the line, there's a chance it won't come back to you in the way you hoped. That's the risk you take when you invest yourself fully in something. Sure, failure teaches you important lessons and new perspectives and makes you more relatable, but it's okay to recognize that there's a real cost too. You don't have to downplay these losses. Instead, by accepting both the gains and the sacrifices of failure, you get a fuller, more balanced view. This can ultimately make you more prepared and resilient as you continue forward, knowing that both the rewards and the risks are part of every journey. 3. Negative self-talk can intensify feelings of failure. If you're prone to self-criticism, you might catch yourself in an internal dialogue that's anything but supportive. Instead of viewing mistakes as learning opportunities, your mind might magnify them, repeating harsh thoughts that make you feel smaller and less capable. This kind of thinking can convince you that one failure defines your ability or worth, even though it's just one part of your journey. Over time, negative self-talk can drain your motivation and confidence, making it harder to bounce back and try again. 4. You have an all-or-nothing mindset. You might find yourself caught in the trap of an all-or-nothing mindset, where you believe that the only outcomes in any situation are success or failure. This kind of thinking can be quite limiting and can prevent you from seeing the bigger picture. It's important to recognize that life rarely operates in black and white. Instead, it's filled with shades of gray that represent various levels of achievement and progress. For instance, even if you haven't reached your ultimate goal yet, that doesn't mean your efforts have been in vain. Each step you take, each lesson learned, and each small victory counts toward your growth. Now the real question is, does failure have its value? Yes, because 1. Failure allows you to get your utmost attention. The moment when you are vulnerable is when you've given something your all and still fall short. In those moments of failure, it's as if a switch flips, pushing you to analyze what went wrong. You ask questions you might otherwise ignore. What could you have done differently? Did you miss something important? Suddenly, you're not just going through the motions. You're looking deeper, trying to understand where you stumbled. This process, uncomfortable as it may be, is powerful. It's in those moments of focused reflection that you learn the most about yourselves and the task at hand. 2. Failure makes you relatable in a way that success alone simply can't. When you see someone who seems like they've never failed, it's easy to feel a disconnect. They seem almost out of reach, like they're living on a different level where mistakes don't happen, and that can make their success feel unattainable. But when someone opens up about their struggles, their setbacks, and the times they've completely missed the mark, you see yourselves in them. That reminds you that everyone, no matter how successful, has moments where things don't go according to plan. Failure makes a person human, grounded, and ultimately someone we can empathize with. We all know the sting of falling short, and seeing that in others gives us a sense of connection and comfort, knowing we're not alone. 3. Failure will push you to explore new paths you might never have considered otherwise. Think about it. In science, failure is just as essential as success, if not more so, because it sheds light on assumptions that might have been overlooked. Each failed experiment offers valuable data, shaping the next steps and leading scientists closer to breakthroughs. Thomas Edison's famous quote, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," captures this perfectly. This principle holds in life and works as well. Every successful person you admire likely has a string of failures behind them because each one taught them to adapt and refine their methods. Failure will push you to go beyond your first attempts and find a better, smarter way. Therefore, when you encounter a setback, consider it as part of your progress. When you encounter failure, consider taking the following steps to extract meaningful lessons from the experience and overcome it. Step 1. Take responsibility for your mistake. Don't blame others when things don't go as planned. You might be surprised to realize that you're often your own harshest critic. While you may beat yourself up over a failure, most people are generally more forgiving. By taking responsibility for your actions, you demonstrate a commitment to growth and learning, showing that you're not satisfied with merely repeating the same errors. It's perfectly normal to feel disappointed or upset about a setback, and permitting yourself to grieve that loss can be healthy. Step 2. Analyze the mistake. It's completely normal to want to avoid dwelling on your mistakes and to feel the weight of the could've, would've, should've thoughts that come with regret. However, skipping this step can lead to a cycle where you find yourself repeating the same errors over and over. Why not take your time to truly understand where things went off track? One effective way to make this reflection process easier is through self-distancing. By self-distancing, we mean stepping back and viewing the situation from a more objective perspective. Through this, you can lessen the emotional intensity and gain clearer insights. Step 3. Try again. Once you've analyzed your mistakes and gathered valuable insights, it's time to take action and try again. Create a concrete plan to address the areas where you fell short and implement changes that will guide you in a better direction. Don't let fear of failing a second time hold you back. Instead, view each attempt as a building block toward your ultimate success. Step 4. Challenge negative thoughts. You might find that there's a bully in your brain, one that doesn't hesitate to throw insults your way, especially when you're feeling most vulnerable. To break free from these negative thoughts, start by asking yourself some crucial questions such as, am I blaming myself for something that truly isn't my fault? Am I exaggerating the importance of this situation? Am I confusing my thoughts with facts? Do I hold myself to an unrealistic standard of perfection? What are the pros and cons of thinking this way? Reflecting on these questions helps you discern whether you're judging a situation fairly and considering all the facts at hand. The growth that comes from overcoming obstacles will not only strengthen your character, but also deepen your appreciation for the victories that lie ahead. So even though it may not feel like much of a relief right now to envision a brighter future, trust that the effort you put in today will pay off. You are not a loser. Failure is just part of life. That's all we have for you on today's video. Thanks for watching, and if you found these tips helpful, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content. Don't forget to share your most helpful self-care routine in the comments below. Until next time, take care and keep shining bright.